Welcome to the Colour Cave. My name's Jem and I like to play with art supplies. Today we are on to part 3 in our Colouring for Beginners series, and we are looking at colour theory today. So if you know nothing about how to pick out the right colours or what goes together, this is a great place to start. Now don't panic, it's nothing complicated. We are going to start simple and help you make some great choices for your pictures. One question that I hear a lot from people who are new to art is how do they decide what colours to use when doing a work in progress? Now, whether that is because they just can't decide on colours or whether they don't know what goes well together, I have the answer. And I stumbled upon this completely by accident many moons ago. I was in my local hobbycraft and I was wandering around, and I was in the sewing aisle, and I had no business being in the sewing aisle because I am terrible at sewing, but I came across this, and this is a quilter's colour wheel, and they use it when they are making intricate quilts to decide what colours will match and mesh well together. Now this just isn't for quilters, this is for everyone that does anything to do with colour, and it's really basic, it's straightforward, and they are not expensive. Basically, it has the colour spectrum round the outside, and in the middle is this little wheel that goes wee like this. And on this middle section there are several different shapes that help determine what colours go with others. It's really straightforward. First of all, we have complementary colours, so they are colours that are directly opposite each other on the colour wheel. So if you just, in fact, I'll just leave it where it is. At this side, say I really like yellow. Yellow. And I want something that's going to go with yellow. Bish bash bosh, purple. Job done. Great stuff. If it gets a little bit more complicated than that, you can use the split complementary. So that will give you yellow. And obviously, we were in the purples with this one, so it's just gone one either side of that, and it's giving me a more bluey purple and a more pinky purple. So these two will go well together because they're quite close together in the colour wheel, but because purple is the complementary colour to yellow, they're not going to clash with what's over here. The other 3 combination thingy-mabobber that you can do is the triad, which is 3 colours which are equidistant on the colour wheel. So let's mix it up a bit. So if we go for red and we look down here and we follow the line of this triangle, it's giving us purple and green. Now again, because they're equidistant on the colour wheel, they tend to go well together. Now I know what you're thinking here, but I shall demonstrate just shortly. If you want to get even more fancy schmancy, you can go 4 colours. Now we have a tetradic colour combination, and there's 2 ways to do this. You can see here there is what I would say is more of a square, which again is going by that idea of things being equidistant from each other on the colour wheel. So I'm going to pop this round this corner here to my yellow, which I like, and if I follow that line along, it's taking me to red, and if I follow down here, it's taking me to purple, and down here to turquoise. So I have 4 colours that are guaranteed to go together, no problem. The other option is this rectangular shape, and that goes along more with the theory like a split complementary. So it's on opposite sides of the colour wheel, but the 2 colours on each side are quite close together as well. So if I move that round to there, there's my yellow. Now it's giving me a sort of burnt orange colour. And then if I follow this along here, it's giving me purple. Can you see a theme yet? Can you see it? And over here, it's giving me blue as well. So there you go. It is that simple. It is that straightforward. Now, in addition to having this wonderful little device, it also has holes in. And this is really the part that the quilters use. If they have a scrap of fabric, they can match it up on their colour wheel, and that's what all these different sections are for. And it means that they can pick out another fabric in their complementary colour or whatever it is, again, so that they'll go together. Now what I've done here is I've just scribbled down a little bit of yellow, and if anybody is interested, that is a Prisma colour and it is canary yellow, just in case you're wondering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here and I'm going to pick the closest shade of yellow. Now it's not coming up the same on the camera as me looking at it, but I can tell you that pretty much it's probably closest to A. So let's say I want to pick out a split complementary colour scheme, and that is my first colour because that's the pencil I have. I've got it here. This is mine. So if I follow my little triangle down, it's giving me a purpley colour and it's giving me another purpley colour, which is more of a bluey purple. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out my swatch book. Okay, so this is my little swatch book, and it's the little book of colour. And what I want to do now is go to my purples. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And if we look back at this colour wheel, there is my yellow, so I'm looking for the A in this section and the A in this section. So I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to try and match up. Now that looks pretty close to me, and that is Dahlia Purple. So let's just dig that out. Ta-da! And the other one is more of a sort of bluey purple. I may have to, ooh. Now that could be dark purple. Or maybe even, that looks more, struggling here. I think I'm maybe going to go dark purple. Let's go dark purple. So I can pop this away now. So I have my yellow. There is my Dahlia Purple, which just looks lovely next to it. Lovely, lovely. And then I have my dark purple. In addition to these colours on the colour wheel, it's not a hard and fast rule, and it's just the way that I work. But aside from this colour spectrum here and all these different shades, I look at what I call neutral colours separately, because that's exactly what they are. They're neutral and they go with everything. Now when I say neutral colours, I mean things like cream. I don't even think you can see that on there, can you? Oh yeah, okay. Beige, that's another one, beige. And browns as well to a degree. Obviously all of these neutral colours, they can have hues or shades or tints to them. For example, some browns will have more red in them than others. There you go. So this one is much more reddish than this one. So yeah, obviously I mean there is no sort of hard and fast rule, but I tend to find you can put most things with these colours and they'll look okay, or you can use them as a little colour group all on their own and it works just as well. If you don't want to have one of these floating about, if you're a bit like me and you don't like a lot of clutter, I have a modern day alternative. I have a colour wheel on my iPad. This is fabulous. I'm going to put a link to this app down in the description as well. I have this on my phone. I've got it on my iPad just for the purposes of showing you because the screen's a lot bigger. And this works pretty much in the same way, except it's digitised. Now what you do with this is exactly the same thing. There is a button down in the corner where you can change what type of wheel you want. So if we go back to the absolute basic, this, and it says here complementary colour scheme, and all you do is whip your little wheel round, there's my yellow, and ta-da, is giving me purple. If you're looking for something a bit more, excuse my arm, if you're wanting to look for something with a few more of the different shades in similar to this one, all you do is tap the button in the corner and it will bring up several different wheels. There's a sort of pastel one. So if it's a really pale yellow you've got, you would, you know, it'll give you the alternative purple so that you can choose the right shade. It's absolutely fabulous. I love this little piece of kit. So there's quite a few. There's a darker set of colours as well. So again, there you go. If you're going into sort of more of an ochre colour, you can see that's quite a dark purple that it's given me there. If you want to change the colour scheme, there's a row of buttons along here. Now here we have the triadic colour scheme, so that's your 3. And again with this one, you can cycle through the wheels if you want to stick with the plain colours or you want to choose darker shades or more pastel shades. You can do that on any of these, but that gives you the option for the 3 which are equidistant on the colour wheel. And I don't use this one very often because it's simply giving you 3 colours that are side by side on the colour wheel. So if you have access to either colour wheel, you're pretty capable of picking these out yourself. But again, it's quite handy for the shades. If you're struggling with a particularly odd shade of green or yellow, then that can be quite helpful. Here's the split complementary, which is the same as our little white triangle on this one. And it's absolutely fabulous as well. Honestly, I can't fault this. This app is free. You don't pay for this. And I'm not being paid to promote this either, just make that clear. So there's your tetradic colour schemes. This is the one that's the equivalent to the rectangle. So you can see there's 2 sets of colours that are quite close together. And then the square colour scheme, that's called, well, that's what they call it here. And again, that's going with the theory of being equidistant on the colour wheel. And again, same thing, you can flick through all the different options. If you don't have access to stores like Hobbycraft or maybe Hobby Lobby in the US, just go online and get this app. It takes 2 seconds to get it downloaded and it will save you so much grief and it will help you so much in picking colours. So, I hope this video has been useful to you. It's certainly something that has been an absolute lifesaver for me, and as I've gone along I have learned more about colour theory and about mixing colours and things, but that was a great basis for me because I really didn't have a clue what colours went together. So hopefully you guys will find it useful too, and you can become a pro at picking colours out for all your works in progress. Thank you very much, guys. If you like this, please, please, please give it a thumbs up. It's really important to me just now that I get some thumbs. And if you have any comments or you would like to suggest further videos, please do so down in the box below. And if you haven't already subscribed, you know what to do. There's a big button that says subscribe on it, so you can hit that too if you're interested to see what else I'm going to come up with. We'll see you next time, guys.